We are extremely privileged to talk here and share our experience. My name is Arindam Paul, and I'm joined by my colleague Shashin Surkun. Shashin works from Fidelity US, and I work from Fidelity India. So together we'll talk about our journey, about how we have built our customer analytics platform. So before we start, a quick show of hands. How many of you are running Hadoop in the production environment? Okay, maybe about 10–15%. So hopefully as we talk, you'll be able to relate your experience with that of ours. And those of you who are planning to run it in the future probably will benefit from our talk. So with that, let's start. So why are we here today? So we are here to share our experience about what we have done, how our customer analytics we have built over the years. And we have not built everything in day one. We did not want to boil the ocean. Rather, we took a staggered approach. First, we built our web data into the Hadoop environment and made it available for our customer for exploration and model development and scoring. So during the presentation, Shashin will talk about how we have built the clickstream environment into the Hadoop environment, clickstream data into the Hadoop environment, and then I'll also talk about the evolution of our architecture that has happened. And we'll also share the lessons that we have learned. And finally, all work and no play made Jack a dull boy. So we worked hard, and we also ensured that we played hard. So music was part of our fun activity, and we'll make sure that we have some songs also during the presentation. So when we want to reach a destination and the path is not very clear, we take baby steps. The reason we take baby steps because we build confidence in these steps and move on. We know what works and what doesn't work, and that really helps in our future course of action. So we also did something very similar. We started with Hadoop in 2010, and we did some POCs, but we found that we needed more time to go into the production with the Hadoop environment, so we waited. We kind of needed something that was more stable and easy enough. Maybe it was not so back then. So moving forward, in 2013, we built our first Hadoop cluster, both dev and prod. And we started a couple of POCs, and we kicked off our first project, that is to migrate the clickstream data from the RDBMS environment to the Hadoop environment. So in 2014, we delivered the clickstream or the web data into the Hadoop environment, and we have also enriched it with 7 years of history. So with this, we laid a foundation for the batch framework into the Hadoop environment. And now the web data is available for modeling and scoring and exploration in the Hadoop environment itself. So Hadoop became an integral part of our advanced analytics platform in 2014. In 2015, we shifted our focus. We shifted our focus to other aspects of Hadoop. For example, security and governance. For example, backup and recovery through snapshotting. Now, when it comes to security and governance, we get authentication and authorization by default with the Hadoop distribution. But there are other aspects of security also that we don't get. For example, auditing, monitoring, logging, and then encryption of the data, or for example, auto discovery of sensitive information in your unstructured data. Those things, they don't come by default. So in 2015, this is definitely one of our focus area. In 2014, we laid a foundation for batch ingestion framework. But in 2015, we are evaluating multiple tools and technologies for real-time data ingestion. In 2015, we are also working towards omni-channel big data ingestion in the Hadoop framework. So Hadoop, our ultimate goal is to make all the data exploration, data preparation, models development, and scoring in the Hadoop environment. And this is the goal we are working towards. So with that, I'll hand it over to Shashin. Shashin will explain the clickstream environment, how we have built it, and we'll take it forward from there. Welcome, Shashin.
Thank you, Arindam.
Well, there is a myth that techies do not sing or shy away from singing. I want Shashin to bust that myth today.
Music is to big data what, Hadoop is to big data what music is to the soul. Music touches us emotionally where words alone can't. 6 weeks ago, my father actually suffered a severe stroke back home in India. And after he came back from the ICU to the general ward, he was basically the stroke had impaired his speech and comprehension. He was literally looking through me. It was a very difficult sight to see. My sister, who's a speech therapist, she said, why don't we play Dad's favorite music and see what will happen? So we actually did that, and he started crying, and he actually started to hum the song. That is the power of music. Music has a healing power. That is one end of the spectrum, and the other end is you might have seen in Bollywood films, somebody singing a song and it actually starts raining. For me, my goal was to basically connect the dots. It was our privilege to kind of embrace and jumpstart this journey as one of the tech teams in Fidelity. It was my goal to make sure I share this experience with other tech partners, other business units, and make sure I explain to them our success stories, how Hadoop works in my own way. So I kind of leveraged my singing talent as one of the channels. As you can see out here on the top, that's me and our big data architect, Heng Chu. On the bottom, that's one of our tech events where me, along with one of our big data QA team resources, we actually sang live. Nothing's going to change my love for you. This is a song that I liked. It was one of my favorite love songs. How many of y'all know this song by George Benson? Just awesome. So today you get a chance to hear my version. If I had to run my jobs without you, Hadoop, the days would all go waiting. The nights would seem so long. With you I see our data oh so clearly, with Hive, Impala, and Mahout. But it never felt this strong. Our dreams are young and we both know they'll take us where we want to go. Ingest me now, process me now. I don't want to live without you. Nothing's gonna change my love for you. You ought to know by now how much I love you. One thing you can be sure of, I'll only ask for 1,000 map slots. The year ahead for us is not so easy. Arun will lead the way for us like a guiding star. Doug is there for us if we should need him. You don't have to change a thing. We love you just the way you are. We'll come to you, query through you. You'll help us do AA too. Ingest me now, process me now. I don't want to live without you. Nothing's gonna change my love for you. You ought to know by now how much I love you. One thing you can be sure of, I'll only ask for 1,000 map slots. Thank you. I created this song when we were in Hadoop 1.0. So with Hadoop 2.0, I'll have to think about converting map slots to containers. Onboarding web data in Hadoop. So as my friend Aridham said, in early 2013, we jump-started our Hadoop journey by building a batch ingestion framework to ingest web data into our Hadoop platform. It was an exciting moment for our team as we ramped up our onshore and our offshore teams. The first question everybody asks, right? I mean, why Hadoop? What was your use case? So from technical challenges to solution capabilities, Hadoop basically opened the door for us. When I talk about technical challenges, so what were they? First, increasing data volumes. Our batch cycles were running 16 to 18 hours, and as the volumes increased, we were almost on the brink of crossing like 24 hours. So if there is one production issues, it took us like 5 days to catch up. At the same time, we had a lot of operational challenges, like taking backups. Our SAN storage costs were also increasing. So we were at that right moment where our legacy data warehouse was kind of end-of-life hardware, and at the same time, Fidelity had taken the step to invest in the Hadoop infrastructure. So our leaders basically took the decision that this is the right time, and because we had done our POCs a few years ago, we said let's get the funding and let's get web data into Hadoop, because not only it will allow us to store multi-year data basically store it on a scalable, distributed, low-cost cluster, but at the same time, it opens doors for our business to do exploratory analytics, to do predictive analytics, and to do complex prescriptive analytics. Our end goal is to basically improve our improve and personalize our customers' experience. Most of us are famous. I mean, they know the 3 V's. Everybody talks about the 3 V's of big data. How does this relate to us? When we speak about our IT, as we said, we started with web data ingestion, which is kind of semi-structured data. Now, in 2015, our goal is to do omni-channel data ingestion. So we are looking at chat transcripts, rep notes, voice-to-text conversion. All interactions that our customer has done, we plan to ingest into Hadoop. With volume, just in the past 18 months, we have crossed hundreds of terabytes, and we are growing rapidly. Velocity. So we have kind of mastered the batch ingestion framework with daily ingestion. And now with Hadoop, it has opened doors to kind of go towards lower latencies like intraday, near real time, and real time. So we are actually working with our business partners, looking at their problems and seeing if one of these use cases will basically meet their needs. This is how I see Hadoop. So basically, Hadoop kind of welcomed us with an open canvas. There are so many colors available to us. It is our job to pick the right colors, and I guarantee you, you will end up with a beautiful painting that you all will be proud of. By that, what I mean is we have to look at basically what are our data access patterns. Look at the right file formats. Look at the right compression techniques. There are advanced tuning techniques available like partitioning, bucketing. Use those features to make data access easy. You can achieve all of this by keeping the overall design simple and flexible for constant evolution. So this basically, I say, this is what I call as from a star to a superstar. Most of your RDBMS data modeling skill will come in handy when you basically move to Hadoop. Hadoop provides us advanced optimization techniques like partitioning and features like bucketing, compression, which are very similar that we had in our RDBMS world. With multiple file formats and compression techniques, you can always find the right balance between storage and storage costs and the CPU performance. As you can see in Hadoop, we kept our design. In RDBMS, it was a normalized star schema, but in Hadoop, we made it a simple, single, denormalized clickstream table. If we had any detail attributes, we used complex data types to store those attributes. We partitioned our data for easy access so that we could do partition pruning. At the same time, we used advanced features like bucketing to facilitate advanced map joins and sampling. How we did this? We wanted to keep it simple and innovate at the same time. We used innovation behind the scenes in our batch processes and kept the presentation layer simple for our end users. At the same time, we took the time to build a cost-effective, common config-driven, scalable batch ingestion framework that we could reuse as my team and other teams within Fidelity start getting other forms of data into Hadoop. We had lots of lessons learned during our journey. I'll just speak to some of them. The first thing, over-communicate and build a strong network. That will really help you. Take small, deliberate steps so that you can fail fast and learn. You will hit speed bumps, I guarantee you, but the team will definitely persevere. This is a fast-changing, evolving space. Gone are the days where you would do upgrades every 2 or 3 hours. We are doing upgrades every quarter, or we do multiple upgrades every year. So those are some of the challenges you will hit as you move into production. So make sure you have automated test scripts. That's because with every upgrade, you will get new features, but some of the features might become obsolete. So you have to plan for that. And last but not the least, it really helped us to engage professional services so that they could onboard our team and make sure that we are following best practices. We are using the right architecture, and we are heading in the right direction. Now, this was a story of how we got web data into Hadoop, and we built our batch ingestion framework. Now, Arindam will explain how this story connects with a bigger epic, and we'll go over the evolution of the advanced analytics platform and how we used and how Hadoop and web interactions tie together to provide exponential business value to our firm. Thank you.
Thank you, Shashin. So now we'll talk about the evolution on our architecture. So with that, we will talk about the evolution that has happened so far, but it doesn't mean that the evolution has stopped. It is still evolving, and we'll talk about it. We'll not talk about whatever we are doing, whatever we'll do in future, but we'll talk about whatever we have done so far. So over the years, we built our customer data warehouse. It has 7 years of history and a standard architecture, staging, persistent staging, integration area and dimensional data. And we had tools and softwares to do some exploratory analytics and small and medium predictive analytics. But time to value was too long for complex predictive analytics. This was not suitable for doing data preparation, model development, and scoring. So this was the problem here. So what we have done, we have brought the MPP environment or MPP appliances into the environment, replicated the warehouse data into this environment, and the model development, data preparation and scoring all started happening into this environment. So this Definitely improved the time to value for complex predictive analytics, and we started delivering more value here. But for complex predictive analytics to be more accurate, and for doing other types of different use cases, we needed different other types of data also, and there are data too large to fit in this environment. So, for example, the web data. Web data was supposed to be a goldmine of information for complex predictive analytics, but we are not able to fit this data into the MPP environment. So Hadoop was a natural progression for us. So what we have done, we have brought Hadoop into the picture and migrated the clickstream data or web data from the RDBMS to the Hadoop environment. And the data preparation started happening in the Hadoop environment, and the rolled up data or the aggregated data, we started pushing it to the MPP environment for further modeling, model development and scoring. So now the accuracy of our model also improved further, and we started delivering even more business value. So that's the evolution that has taken place. So first we started with the standard data warehouse, and then we brought in the MPP environment, and then finally we brought in the Hadoop environment. And in each step we are kind of delivering values. So far we have been dealing with only the kind of structured to semi-structured data. Now having done that successfully, now we are also getting different other types of interaction data. For example, chat data, email data, SMS data, and all the different types of unstructured data we have started processing now. We also started processing speech to text data, real-time data. Hive worked very well for us. So majority of our data in Hadoop environment we started exposing through Hive tables. We also enabled our HDFS for further ETL processing on the data, or for any text analytics on the unstructured data. So next, so what are the lessons we have learned? First, evolve with controlled revolutionary changes. Don't try to do everything from day one. Try to take a staggered approach. Don't try to boil the ocean. Whatever there is no point in doing everything from day one. Try to deliver values in every step. Whatever you build in your system. Data is the new fuel, and try to understand your data very well. Try to understand what kind of use cases can be solved from your data. Emphasize more on your use cases. That Hadoop can solve all your problem may not be the right thinking. It may not be the right strategy also. Technology is just an enabler. Agile principles helped us a lot. Deliver fast and deliver often. There is no point in waiting for 6 months to deliver your first project. Many things might have changed by this time. So, it helps for, if you are doing an incremental delivery. If you have to fail fast and tune yourself. Make sure you use your learnings for your future endeavors. Involve your customer from day one. There should not be any surprises for the customer in the later phases. Competency is definitely very important, because ultimately you have to deliver the project. And if you don't have the right skill set in the market, how will you deliver your project? So competency is very important. Look out for existing skill set also in your organization. For example, people who come with a SQL background, it's very easy for them to learn Hive. So those things matters a lot. The last thing is ease of use. Ease of use is also very important. You may have some great technology, but if it takes weeks to months to configure and use it, there is no point right now. So find out some technology that's easy and that has got developer affinity. And have some technology and tools that your BI or business team can use for easy exploratory analytics. So I think that's it so far from my side. And while Shashin is here, I think it would be great if he can have one more song, Shashin. Is this fine with you?
Definitely. Should we ask for questions or wait till the end?
It's up to us. So if you have any question, you can ask. Please go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Which kind of distribution you guys use? HDP or
It's a Cloudera.
Cloudera?
Right.
So which kind of version higher you guys are using?
So we started with an older version, but right now it's Cloudera 5.3.
So we're on
So
0.13.
Hive.13, yes. Yes, sure. Please go ahead.
Can you talk a little bit more about the business outcomes that you'll deliver? It sounds like a lot of it's around customer experience.
Right, right. I'm not very sure if we can talk about all this, but one of the use cases is customer intent modeling. So customer intent modeling is, we are using, web behavior of our customers a lot to predict, when a customer, calls, right? Even before the customer says something, we should know why the customer is calling. So these are some of the use cases that we are solving. But, unfortunately, we are not supposed to talk about all this here.
Hi. Do you have a test environment as well as a production here, or is it all in one package?
The question was, do you have a test and production environment?
Yeah, I can talk to that.
Okay.
In fact, that was also a lesson learned. We started with just a non-prod and production. So our basically in our non-prod, it had to be shared for development, QA, and UAT. But now as we are evolving, we are building multiple clusters. So the challenge, what I say is, as we do multiple upgrades, a project might be in flight. So it actually happened. We were kind of upgrading, and a critical project was in the final stages of development and testing. So some of the features that we had used, they became obsolete. So their project kind of delivery was impacted because they were in the same cluster where the upgrade was done, and my team was kind of testing those new features. So that are some of the challenges you guys need to think about. So now we are working with our enterprise infrastructure team to build a separate small cluster just for upgrades. And then we can build automated test suites where we can test our key jobs and make sure all the features that we are using are available.
Yeah, upgrades were always messy.
Yes.
The diagram of the later stage of the architecture, it shows that you're loading Hadoop from the MPP.
No. It's the other way.
The other way.
Yeah. So that's the first journey, the first story where we got web data. We basically build the web drivers. That means from terabytes we go to megabytes. We aggregate it based on what is needed for the models. We have kind of built a framework to then push that aggregated web drivers to our MPP environments, and that is where our models are running as of today. So we kind of enrich those models with web behavior, and instantly we saw an uplift.
Any insight on using text inside of Hadoop? So you have a lot of text data coming in.
So yes, so text is like an unstructured data, right? So insight in the sense, we started, processing and ingesting lots of, unstructured data. So we are in the beginning of our phase right now, but we definitely it's not like exposing text data through Hive tables. We kind of enabled it through HDFS as well, so that we can do further processing on top of the data. For example, any text analytics if have to be done, right? So not much of an experience, I would say, from the modeling perspective.
Next year you'll hear more from us.
Yep.
Yes.
Have you guys talked about putting Hadoop on the cloud?
No.
No.
We cannot. This is a financial organization, and we cannot put our data into the cloud. So it's an on-premise.
You don't have anything.
No.
What skills carried over from your DBAs into your Hadoop developers? What do you call people that work with Hadoop in this way? What's their title?
Software developer, senior software engineer.
So there's no good title.
Yeah, or you can call him a crazy singing tech lead.
So we have a separate team called for data scientists. So that's a separate team we have.
What about databases? Like, if you're talking about related
So most of us, we have come from a typical ETL data warehousing background. So SQL was like our bread and butter. So that's why we connected very easily with Hive. So I mean, the roles did not change. We are working with our HR to kind of come up with basically big data developer roles. So we are kind of building that framework as we try to hire new talent.
I have two questions. Number one, being financial institution, how you are managing the data governance with respect to access and security within the team. Number two, do you guys have any data disaster recovery plan? Your cluster is gone and you want to access immediately. You don't want to wait. There's no downtime recovery, right? How you are addressing that?
No,
I can take the second part.
Okay. So the first question was about data governance, right? So we are working this year with all the 5 security guardrails, basically authentication, authorization, data logging and monitoring, data masking, and data encryption. So with respect to authentication and authorization, so we are working. So Kerberos, Kerberos is enabled, and we have integrated with Cloudera Sentry. So that's how kind of, it's a role-based access. So we have created groups and users, and that's how we can manage what, or we can basically make sure the sensitive data is carved out and only specific users that need access to it, they get added to those groups. So it's a combination of Sentry and POSIX. So the second question was?
The backup and recovery and the disaster recovery. So yeah, so backup and recovery, we recently implemented snapshotting mechanism in Hadoop. So with that, if it's a single cluster, then snapshotting mechanism, this thing will work, snapshotting will work. But if the entire data center is gone, then we have a backup for other data center. So that's we are in the process of building that.
Yeah, so as of now, it's a single site strategy. So we just have our fingers crossed.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I think the second question of security and all that. Have you also implemented based on what columns or what rules?
No, currently it's just.
Because financials worry about that also, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I think it's a good question, and we are evaluating different other tools through which we can do that, and this is in the process.
So currently it's at a database and table level, whatever Sentry supports.
Yes.
Yeah, you can have workarounds by creating these. Awesome.
We want to go for one more song, Krishan? Oh, there is a song.
Questions, man.
Yeah, sure, please
Questions
go
get priority.
ahead. Yeah, of course.
We need to talk. Yes.
Can you get the question? How
No.
big is the cluster? Just curious.
It's not very big right now, so it's about 100 plus node cluster, but we are building.
100 is big for someone. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, but if you compare it with a 1,000 node cluster, 100 is not very big. Yeah, I think there is one more question.
Have you considered Apache Ranger or Apache Atlas for your security and governance needs?
No,
Not yet. We are currently evaluating all the different vendors. So that was a good segue to my next song. This is my latest dedication to the Hadoop community. So when Jan went live, I had to come up with this song. Una Paloma Blanca. I don't know, for some reason this song has stuck with me since my childhood. When Hadoop shines on the mountain, RDMS is on the run. It's a new day, it's a new way. Yarn is live, Arun thanks a ton. Una Paloma Blanca, for batch we are using Hive. Una Paloma Blanca, with Spark real time's alive. Yes, no one can take your Hadoop away. Yes, no one can take our Hadoop away. as the slide says, our journey does not end here. Our mantra for 2015 has been execution through collaboration and innovation. By that, what I mean is we set up within, just like we are sharing our stories out here, we started by setting up a Hadoop user group within Fidelity. And every quarter, we basically we host tech events where we invite all business units who are working in this platform to come and share their success stories. And last but not the least, excel and deliver. So our goal is to build a solid big data team. We are always looking for good talent. And if you can sing, that is a bonus. And basically, leverage the power of Yarn, Spark, and newer versions of Hive. So work with our business. Look out for what is there. As Arindam says, just don't blindly go with, oh, Hadoop will solve the problem. Look at what is the use case. Will it meet our need? Thank you. And in spirit of the open source community, I have added 2 more songs. And this is a Bollywood song. So if you guys are interested, I can sing it. Otherwise, we can call it a day. Wow, so many hands up. Awesome.
Thank you.
So this was one of my songs that my dad, he liked it very much. कोड जो तेरा तड़पाए, लॉजिक कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाए, आजा प्यारे पास हमारे, काहे घबराए, काहे घबराए। हडूप मेरा ओपन सोर्स, हाइव और पिग दिल के क्लोज, यान स्पार्क शाला इम्पाला से खेलो तुम हर रोज। सुन सुन सुन, अरे बाबू सुन, इस हडूप में बड़े बड़े गुण, लाख दुखों की एक दवा है, क्यों ना आजमाए, काहे घबराए, काहे घबराए। डेडलाइन का हो झगड़ा, SLA का हो रगड़ा, डिलीवरी का जो बोझ उठा दे, कॉन्सेप्ट जब हो तगड़ा। सुन सुन सुन, अरे बाबू सुन, इस हडूप में बड़े बड़े गुण, लाख दुखों की एक दवा है, क्यों ना आजमाए, काहे घबराए, काहे घबराए। कोड जो तेरा तड़पाए, लॉजिक कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाए, आजा प्यारे पास हमारे, काहे घबराए, काहे घबराए। Thank you everybody for coming.